family. My name is Vicki Dillard, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel here at VickiDillard.tv. I'm so pleased that you are with me today. I hope that you can hear and see me okay. I'm waiting for a couple of people to pop on in. I was announcing a couple of days ago on Instagram that I was going to be doing new shows this week, beloved. So I am so pleased to be with you today. I have a little bit of a ritual. If you've been following me over the years on different networks, different platforms, that as you come in, be sure to come in, give us a big thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like and be sure to share. Yes, on the count of three. I'm still waiting for to see some folks in the chat, so I'll know that the notifications went out. But I'm going to keep on going, family. On the count of three, I want you to come in and hit that thumbs up button. Yes, 1, 2, 3, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Yes, okay. I'm seeing somebody in the chat. Jimmy looks like. Is that a mermaid with a heart? Thank you so much. Shalina, that's one of my moderators and my goddess sisters. I'm so pleased to see you all today. Yes, 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 family. Come on in, come on in, come on in. I am so pleased that you're with me today, family. Let's get to where we are going, family. With the quickness, family, I wanted to tap in with you because I'm going to be doing more broadcasts in the upcoming days. Of course, you all know I've been so busy behind the scenes with my schools and with my health and other things. But beloved, I am with you today. When you come on, every gets shut down. Everything's good. All right now, baby. Come on now. Y'all know how we do. When the goddess is in the building, talk black to me, somebody. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Now, family, I know I say this a lot, but I really do want to get to where we're going with the quickness. Yes, family, I really do want to get to where we're going with the quickness because I have so much going on. But I wanted to tap in with you all really quick, family. Everybody be sure to share the broadcast. Be sure to share the broadcast. Yes. Now, family, I want you to see. I want you to watch a little bit of this clip from this entity by the name of Roland Martin. Yes. I want you to watch a little bit of this clip. Now, let me say this. Let me say this real quick. Sometimes you know how we can discuss certain people and it seems like we're giving them too much airtime or something like that. And so you may think, well, hey, by talking about that individual, talk about that person, it gives them undue, attention. Of course, those situations sometimes have its place, but I want you all to understand that the reason why I'm discussing, and I just said something that really is kind of prophetic right here and right now. The reason why I am discussing the disgusting. It's early. It's too early for me to be starting out like this, ain't it, y'all? Baby. The reason why I am discussing the disgusting. Can y'all hear me okay? I think you can because now I'm seeing hamburgers and somebody laughing in the chat. So I must be in the building with the right people. So y'all see where I'm going. The reason why I am discussing, see, I keep mixing up the words because it's the same. The reason why I keep discussing the disgusting Rolanda Martina, stop laughing, Shalina, is because, beloved, Roland represents Black voters that believe in upholding an oppressive political party, an oppressive political government. Roland represents gatekeepers that seek to silence, prevent, and frustrate and foil the voices of folks like Vicki Dillard who demand accountability for those that we put in power. Roland is Black looking. Roland is an entity, as I have taught you over the years. He comes from the rejected parts of the underworld. I don't have problems with certain parts of the underworld, but Roland comes from the rejected parts of the underworld. Roland was shaped and formed and reared, raised upon kibbles and bits. Food that was meant for Scotties, terriers, German shepherds, boxers, poodles. Roland was reared. You cannot ingest that and not come out as some other alien. You understand? So Roland, whose origin, his name hints at where he's from and hints at his function. Roland, the root word of Roland's name, R-O. I have to catch people up because I've been teaching this for years. When you understand where someone's from, where something is from, you'll know how to deal with them and stop treating them like they're real. How many of you all know that if you saw a bear, you would not be just sitting up engaged in conversation with the bear like you're talking to another human being, right? So you got to understand what Roland is sometimes from different angles. He'll pass just real fast off as he might be one of us. But the gargantuan, I can't even get the word out. But the gargantuan nature and presence of Roland cast a shadow on any and everybody and everything that stands in his wake. So because he's a big, round, overwhelming presence and shadow, it's hard to see good. Perception's off. You'll start thinking that what he says matters. You'll start thinking maybe I should take it seriously. But it's an overwhelming, a drowning, baptismic effect. It'll take over you. Understand that when your name is Roland and your attributes, the root word for Roland is R-O. That goes with what? Rotund, round, roll. You got to understand it's not, we don't get it. That's something out that's different. So you cannot treat or take it seriously. We cannot treat Roland as real and serious. Years ago, I told this story. I was in a store in another city. I live about 45 minutes away from this city. Child, some years ago, I told this long time ago on one of the networks I was on. Y'all, and this is a reaction that I have about Roland. The same reaction I had about this person. Watch this. I was in a health food store. I'm y'all, true story. I promise you, true story. I was in a health food store, getting ready to check out. Bought some health food type stuff, supplements and all that kind of stuff. Probably some, little healthy food and stuff like that. Went over there, y'all, was in the line. Line was long. And somebody was in front of me. A white lady who looked like she was just real brute. Because at first I was like, is that a dude or what? But anyway, she was a brute looking woman. I had to observe long to really know what was what. So she was standing in line brute would look like, a farmer's rancher's outfit on. Real husky, like Roland kind of energy. Watch this. So, child, she was holding what at first glance I thought was a dog. And I trip about that all the time because I just don't understand. If it's not a service dog, what the hell is y'all bringing dogs for in the vegetable aisle? I don't know. I don't trust. I don't know. I just don't understand. Why are they over here with the tomatoes and the oranges like that? Why do y'all have to bring them things in there like that? So I was already looking crazy just thinking that this was one of them folks with a dog and stuff and the checkout. And I was trying to keep it together. Like they get on my nerves with that. Leave that thing outside. Watch this. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this? I was already heated because it was an animal on their shoulder. Guess what I found out, y'all, standing in line at the health food store? God is as my witness. Y'all listening? It wasn't a dog. Come close. Come close. It wasn't a dog. Come close. Guess what it was? Y'all come close to the screen. Come close to the screen. Come close to the screen. Look, y'all. God is as my witness. Watch this. It was a goat, a baby goat. The husky brute lady with the rancher's outfit on. Why you laughing? No, y'all, listen. Y'all know how I'm going to make that up. Look, she had to look in line to check out. She brought the baby goat. It's a goat in the health food store, in the health food line. Because I was looking at her, she had the hair everywhere. The hair was all over the lady. Only to find out it was a goat. That's how I be looking at Roland strange like that. That's how you got to look like. You can't treat that like normal. You cannot just integrate that and be like pulling out your credit or debit card to pay. No, you have to address the madness. You do you don't hide the funny look on your face. That's not the time to be cordial and classy. That is the time to express outrage. Damn it, there's lines and boundaries. And goats, that's enough now. It's enough. It's enough. Sometimes we be acting like we being real sweet and kind and cute and respectful. That's not respectful. Damn it, you don't supposed to be having goats in the stores like that. The hair was on the back, on the arms. It was on the rancher's outfit. It was on the style. And no, I'm not gonna hold it together and make it look like I don't see that. No, I'm staring, I'm looking, I'm grunting, I'm making noises because I want her to understand there are rules, regulations, and boundaries, and goats are too much. What manner of entity are you to where you thought it was cool to bring a goat in the store? You're not dealing with somebody that had, that was dealing with a medical issue and that looked strange or something, and somebody that was, a human being that was maybe extremely obese or something. No, that's when you keep it together. When you bring a goat in the store, if I had babies, all bets are off. My babies are welcome to. I'm going to train them to say something. It's good home training to object. That's when you need to, by the way, fam, you get your mini gavels on my store at VickiPlanet.com. My link should be in the chat. I'm going to tell my team to pin my website in the chat real quick. Give me a second. If you had your mini gavel in your purse with you, that would have been the time to bam on the checkout line. That belt saying, damn it, objection. That's the time to call a manager and say, this is a violation of sanity. And it's a health issue. Talk to me, somebody. Who is this? Descendants? Baby, I can't even see the rest of your name. Your gift is blessed. Your very, very gracious gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Much love to you, beautiful. Thank you so much. Much love to you, precious. Your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Y'all got to stop normalizing stupidity. That's why people feel, you know how when people be crossing crazy boundaries and we say to ourselves, well, how those things get so out of control? Things get out of control when you normalize goats and lions. That's how things get out of control. When you sit there and act like that's normal. That's not the time to act normal. You are not doing your babies no favors. You're supposed to tell your babies not to do that. If somebody's maybe overly obese or something like that, if they got some medical stuff going on, that's when they keep it together. You don't just make fun of and mock people, but you do go all out for goats and lions. At the health food store where there are tomatoes and carrots and chives and chicken. That's the time to say, goats don't supposed to be here like that. Now that's how you have to do Roland. Look at me. You do not normalize and you do not conflate Roland into a social cocktail and say that you are coming against your own brother. No, damn it. He's not my brother. People that are enemies that look like us are what you call spies. Are you telling me that if you know that a government or a military or some other similar group is bringing a spy in, don't you know that the spies are not supposed to, the spies don't look like you. The spies are supposed to blend in. You would not say, don't go against, when you know who they are, you don't supposed to say, don't go against them. No, they're an enemy. That's how you're supposed to treat him. Roland at all times is supposed to be treated like that lady that had the goat in line, holding it and babying it and stuff, with the hair all over her rancher's outfit. You're supposed to be calling managers. You're supposed to be pointing. You're supposed to buck eyes. You're supposed to start coughing. You're supposed to start singing Old MacDonald Had a Farm. You're supposed to be doing the Wizard of Oz, lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, that's the time you're supposed to go in with all that. Because we cannot let them weirdos integrate and normalize what's not supposed to be normal. That's not normal. Do you understand? You are the one that is assisting your own undoing when you normalize things that shouldn't be normal. There should be social consequences for that. The health department should be involved, but also the court of public opinion should be involved. Objection. Standing in that line with my wallet getting ready to pay. It's all about the objections, saying it out loud and letting the lady look that with the goat look at me and say, what you mean objection? Damn it, exhibit A holding it, whatever that is in your hand that I thought was a dog. Only for it to be a whole goat. A for real goat. Baby goat. VS Need 3, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold, precious. Hey, Vicki. Hey, I love. Hey, our school is in session. Tell them, baby, class is in session, precious. Y'all know I be saying that. Watch this. Now, Vicki, get off of that because I'm only supposed to be here for a little bit. Look at me. Now, Roland is back at it again. I just saw something that came across my desk where he's once again talking about Simple Simon Negroes, but I'm going to tell you what this is about. First of all, this is what I want you to have in mind when I point out just a couple of things, right? First of all, I need you to understand something. Vicki is beautiful and funny as hell. Thank you, precious. Y'all so funny. But family, listen. This is what I want you to have in your mind. I feel that our strategy, and not just a strategy, like we need to for real push for this. in whatever ways that we can. When I'm talking about certain things, and then I hear of some of you all doing certain organizing and you're acting on the things that you hear, that's very important, because you can't expect Vicki Dillard to do all the stuff. You cannot expect those that are the face of our struggle to do everything. There are different types of soldiers. You're listening to the information I'm giving to inform you so that you would know how that's supposed to inform your next action based on the things that I'm saying. Does that make sense? Everybody be sure to hit that thumbs up button, share, share, share. Now watch this. I believe that, let me see something here, because my team is asking me something. Do you all see my website link pinned above in the chat? I don't see it here. Oh, yes, I do. Now I see it. Yes, I do. Okay, it's there, but I don't know what's going on with this my computer. Somebody said it's pinned. Okay, they can see it. Okay, great. All right, family. Okay, family, listen. So let me get to where I'm going. I just want to drop this with you because I'm gonna be doing, just stay tuned, because I'm gonna be doing another live soon. Okay. Y'all know that when I'm gone for a minute or whatever, it's always something important behind the scenes happening, but I have never abandoned you. Yes, just ship shaping some things. And family, I'm so excited because I'm getting ready to announce in the upcoming couple of weeks when I'm getting ready to name the first city I'm going to for my Vicki Dillard Black Town Hall. So y'all ready for that? So I'm so excited about that. I'm going to be also attending another event coming up here soon, which I'm going to be posting that flyer on my community page here. I've already shared it on Instagram, but I'm gonna put it on my couple of Facebook pages, my X page, and the other little social media, and send it out to my email list and some other stuff. Yes. Now watch this. Yes. Somebody say Mississippi, baby. You better tell them this about that Mississippi, baby. You better tell them, Precious, born and raised in Mississippi. Now, family, listen, y'all ready? So Roland is back at it again. I want you to keep that in mind. This is not giving Roland unnecessary attention. I want you all to know that whenever I'm talking about Roland, I'm talking about all that his wide body is hiding. Roland is a good backdrop to hiding Democratic Party forces that use him. Are y'all hearing me today? Roland covers up those that's behind him. But because Roland be gyrating and his moves that he makes is off, that makes us more curious about what's going on. We start calling him more names. We start treating him as less credible because he's not good at what he does, which is why CNN threw him away and fired him. Which is why even the Black News show don't even want him no more. Talk black to me, somebody. Can y'all hear and see me okay? Whoever this is, your gift is blessed. V's Catering. Hey, Precious, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Can y'all see and hear me okay? Looks like I just had I thought it was an interruption here. Y'all let me know if you can hear. Oh, y'all say yes, you can. Okay, well, I don't know. Y'all, look, I am tripping, huh? Y'all say y'all can see me okay? Okay, let me keep going. Let me stop. I told you I can't even see the thing pin here. It's all kind of stuff going on. But if y'all say you can see me okay, I'm going to keep going. Okay, let me stop. Okay, let me get to where I go. Okay, listen. So I want you all to understand that Roland overshadows. Somebody say that's the bigness. And at the same time, he's the bigness. He's also the nothing. How many of y'all saw that movie from years and years and years and years ago called The Never Ending Story? How many of y'all know that thing that was destroying everything was called the nothing? That's what he is, a big fat nothing. Watch this. These can love you so much, Precious. And your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Now listen, family. Now, Roland is at it again. Now, how many of you all know that Roland can't keep my name out of his mouth, right? Now, in this particular instance, he didn't specifically say my name like he normally does over and 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 over again. Remember, he made a threat some time back and said that he could run circles around me. Everybody knew that was a damn lie because most folks were in complete disbelief and questioned whether or not he could actually run, let alone run around me. Everybody knew that was a lie because everybody said, well, first of all, can you run? Somebody put some running emojis in the chat. Nobody was convinced that was the case. So there are many, many instances where Roland can't keep Vicki's name out of his mouth. And this is one. Y'all see this his thumbnail here with his funny looking self? Let me see.
I ignored the Simple Simons, Gary. But this is a Louisiana race. And so I'm just curious. Have you...
Hold on, y'all.
Have you seen or heard that loudmouth ass Jason Black, who's in Louisiana, who's always go to my YouTube page, because like last year, this little idiot did this thing called Pull Up Summer 2022, which was pretty stupid because he claims that I was running from him at Essence Fest, and he's so irrelevant, the fool don't even know I was there the whole time, and he couldn't even get credentials, but I was all over the place. But it's interesting. I see here all these. I don't see nothing on here about Louisiana gubernatorial race. Nothing. So I get a kick out of these people who love talking black, who love talking about what black folks should do, who love talking about what other black people should be saying and not saying. And he's sitting there in Louisiana, ain't saying nothing about the black guy running for governor, but I'm sure he probably gonna try to call him a sellout like he tried to call you one and everybody else. But I purposely just believe in calling these folks out because what they do is talk trash on YouTube, but do nothing to actually help black people. And if you black and listen to that fool, you stuck on stupid too.
You know, Roland, we have a real problem with figuring out how do we collectively advance our people. And a portion of that problem is that some of us speak so much against black progress that we don't contribute anything other than that to black progress.
Okay, Gary Chambers, he was running for office out there in Louisiana. Sometimes Gary can say some things that make some sense. Other times he's still just about the system. And because you decide that you're going to sit on his show, Gary, and be an enemy to me in particular, because y'all see my name is all in that thumbnail, right? And he going to say my name in a minute. There's many, many times that Roland says my name. Now, this one is from a couple of years ago, but I'm going to show you something he just said literally was brought to my attention. He didn't specifically say my name in that one, but he's certainly referring to us. Y'all see my name there? Roland Rips, Loudmouth, Jason Black, Vicki Dillard. Why are they MIA in Louisiana? No, Ninja, you get to say and do what I say and do. Roland, you're irrelevant. Everybody throws you away, kicks you away, we should say, because you're the thing that bounces from the underworld. CNN kicks you away. Black news, a media company, a news one. Remember they used to be on TV, a cable TV or something like that. They don't even want you. The only connection Roland still had with them for a minute, I think, is maybe their print publication. I believe the print publication he still had some connection to. They got rid of him too. They didn't renew his stuff with him either. Everybody runs from Roland. Other people, other humans can legitimately run. They're running from the thing that's coming after them, rolling and bouncing all over the place. Somebody put some basketballs in the chat. I'm giving you one example of how he can't keep our name out of his mouth.
We have a real opportunity.
Me skip past Gary because he ain't saying nothing.
Tired of sitting in conditions and communities that are not working, and the way that we...
No, we're not supporting you, Gary.
Part of their platform. White man's ice cold.
No, it's not.
And again, since I'm just going ahead in there, same thing. Loudmouth Vicki Dillard. All they do is run their mouth. And again, you got black folks who run it. This is for the governor of Louisiana, second blackest state.
So Roland gonna say my name, Loudmouth Vicki Dillard. Y'all see what's on my screen? This is my personal YouTube channel that he gonna put on his page. So while he talking about me, he's pulling up my YouTube page, right? Because Roland knows he saw me on a bunch of networks that I helped to build over the years. So he gonna pull up my personal YouTube page, the one that y'all watching me on now, right? Y'all see that? That's still him. Listen.
On here, I see her talking about Kamala Harris, dogging Joe Biden, saying Clyburn sold us out, saying DNC chairman flees if the black Americans confront him, all this sort of stuff. I don't see nothing on here about the brother who's running for governor. And so all I'm saying to all of these so-called super black people, where you at? Because, see, you can't keep saying you want this. To your point, Gary, well, who's going to do it? So let's be real clear. We know what Jeff Landry not going to do.
Family, let's stop right there because I forgot to give a major important disclaimer. This is not a YouTube mandated disclaimer. This is a Vicki mandated disclaimer. Grayson, first of all, family, I apologize if your babies was in the room having to watch that very, very, very disturbing image. Normally, I like to give disclaimers. This is a Vicki disclaimer. It's not a YouTube disclaimer. It's not a copyright disclaimer. That's a Vicki Dillard self-imposed disclaimer because I believe in protecting our future. And so I will sincerely apologize to you for not appropriately giving you the heads up so that you can spare your babies the travesty and the devastation that is Roland Martin. So I do apologize for that. But let me get to where I'm going. I was giving you that one example to show you how over and over and over again, Roland can't keep my name out of his mouth, right? Well, this is something that just came across my desk, literally. Y'all know, y'all always the one that's putting me on stuff that Roland and the rest of them weirdos, black, irrelevant, boule type, old, dead, useless, sellout black media does, right? So this just came across my desk. I was just giving you that as an example to let you all know how he can't keep my name out of his mouth. I want you all to know that the reason why I first started going in on Roland years ago is because Roland was calling black folks Simple Simon MFers, but he was also cussing us out and calling us other names because we disagree with him politically. So black folks that was demanding reparations, black folks that were demanding justice, black folks that were criticizing the Democratic Party, Roland will cuss out and call Simple Simon mother effers. His words. That's the reason why I started going in on Roland. So don't you all ever say, Vicki, you're going against your own. No, he's not our own. The same way that goat in the line at the health food store is not our own. How I don't confuse species. That's the equivalent of you confusing species by saying that Roland is our brother and one of us. That's you being silly and sitting out here saying, well, he do say some good stuff. All the stuff he says is not, it's you know how somebody, just like doctors, there are doctors that can take you out through a needle, which is a slow death, right? And then there's other ways of taking you out, like through weapons, like guns and ammunition. Either way you shake it, they taking you out. This is where my people get confused because you feel like that if an enemy is not like a Trump, then you shouldn't be as harsh. No, the other enemies are worse than all the other ones. You know why? Because they keep you participating in your own undoing because you keep giving them the benefit of the doubt and you continue to go at their very, very, very glacial pace that leads you to nowhere. The results are still the same. Your bottom line is still the same. And that's the nothing. Everybody hit that thumbs up button. Share, share, share. Shout out Oakland. Somebody said Oakland tapping in. I love my Oakland family. Now, this is what Roland, what I call him roasting. All these prophetic things are coming out of my mouth. That's a prophetic word that I just accidentally said right there. Roasting Roland. Remember I said the reason why I keep discussing, but the word disgusting slipped out. The reason why I keep discussing the disgusting Roland. Listen, Roland, look at me. Roland. If you all have missed my latest show, how many of y'all saw my last live that I did over a week or so ago? Check my page here. Look, I am saying that I believe that Roland Martin, folks like Joy Reid, when she was working at MSNBC, they done changed the name now. I believe that your Congressional Black Caucus people and others need to be prosecuted for crimes against humanity. Since they're not doing the bidding, Herbert, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold precious. All y'all's gifts are blessed 1,000-fold. Listen to me. If Roland and the Congressional Black Caucus and others are not doing the bidding of Black folks, then I believe that they all need to be investigated to see whether or not they should be prosecuted for crimes against humanity. What do you mean, Vicki? No, not because he's a disagreeable entity. And he is that. Not only because he's disagreeable altogether, like he's an invasion of our country, not like a regular immigrant from ICE. Roland's another kind of alien. So don't ever just keep talking about what the fact that some of his family is Haitian. No, don't throw that in there. It's another kind of invader he is. Watch this. The reason I'm saying that, because do you all understand that networks that are a part of official media and individuals that are a part of certain governments, governmental agencies and entities, how many of you all know that when they are aware and connected to war criminals, pedophiles, how many of you all know, like regular citizens, how many of you all know that just like they may try to get you for aiding and abetting or for being an accomplice to a crime, if you're present, how many of you all know similarly, I'm talking about the principle, similarly, people like Joy Reid and members of the Congressional Black Caucus and others that have official positions either in media or in government or some other agency, or they're directly connected to people that they know are people that rape children, eat human beings, and drink blood. Those individuals have a duty to report such things, even if the appropriate law enforcement persons, prosecutors, and even if certain agencies do nothing about it, they still have a responsibility. Now, why am I pressing this? I'm pressing that we need to first and foremost demand that Roland, Joy Reid types, Don Lemon, Congressional Black Caucus, we need to hold public hearings, do investigations to determine whether or not they need to be under investigations. Now, if you watch my previous lives, and if you watch me over the years on different platforms, including here, you know I discussed the fact that the Congressional Black Caucus flew their chocolate hips over to Jerusalem to meet directly with Netanyahu. Almost a month, almost to the day, not to the day, but almost to the day of October 7th. I have called for an investigation of them because I want to know more about their visit with Netanyahu when under the Biden administration. Do you all know for a time Joe Biden was quietly refusing to meet with Netanyahu? And as quiet as it is kept, even Republicans were keeping their distance. Everybody was doing that because Netanyahu, number one, he's been considered to be a criminal in many ways, but he has been he's involved in criminal cases in his country. Did y'all know that? For years, and he managed to keep getting them delayed. Well, folks were already credibly speculating that one of the reasons why he wanted to engage in all these wars, the reason why he was doing all that stuff from October 7th on and on and on, is because he was trying to delay him having to go to court for these different criminal cases, among other things. Do y'all know that? And that even though Israel, that place they call Israel, as small as it is with their few several million people, several million people, hundreds of thousands of people in Israel for almost a year were protesting in the streets to get him out because he was messmaking with their judiciary. Most folks in America did not know that was going on a year before October 7th because your mainstream media types were not telling you that. But Israel was getting ready to implode from other Israelis because they were trying to push Netanyahu out. So he had pending criminal cases against him. And on top of his pending criminal cases, he was trying to mess with their high courts over there. So because he was concerned about his fate and being behind prison bars, folks were saying that this is the reason why Netanyahu was wanting to engage with Hamas. And how many of y'all know that on October 7th, when Hamas was defending themselves against murderous killers like some of the Israelis over there, there are reports that showed that Netanyahu knew that they were going to attack and that he intentionally prolonged their intervention so that he could have an excuse to go to war against the Palestinian people in a more overt and genocidal way than they have over the past many decades. How many of y'all know that? I said, how many of y'all know that? Most folks did not know that at the time because, number one, y'all don't listen to people like me, Vicki Dillard, and you too busy listening to the CNNs, the MSNBC, the ABCs, the CBS, the NBCs as if they're credible. And every time they say something, you all get excited about something that these illegitimate fools say. They covered all that up. They covered up the fact long before October 7th that Israel was in shambles and their own people by the hundreds of thousands over years' time was consistently in the street to get Netanyahu out of office. Look, so Joe Biden and the Democrat Party, listen, and the Republican Party all love Israel because they use Israel as a laundering country. Vicki Dillard invented that term. I didn't say laundering company. I said a laundering country. Israel does not have a constitution. Don't sit here and tell me that one or two other countries that quote unquote don't technically have a constitution. No, Israel is a country that is said to be a democracy over there in the Middle East. They're considered to be America's top ally. They don't have a constitution. And one of the reasons why I keep saying that for a reason, and that is because the reason I emphasize that is I'm trying to show people that Israel is the United States and the United States is Israel. We use them to cover for a number of different things. And if you follow my work and if you've attended some of my special webinars, you know that I have given you receipts over time to show you that Israel and some of their officials there are directly connected to the overthrow of governments around the world. And some of you ask, why is it that we've been giving Israel welfare to the tune of billions and billions of dollars in money and weapons almost for the entirety of their existence? That's because Israel is the United States and the United States is Israel. That's what you got to understand. That's the reason why they want to make anti-Semitism illegal in the United States. That's the reason why you see your Congress people on the floor of Congress with both Israeli and American flags. Now, the reason why I am saying that your Congress people should be under investigation for prosecution for crimes against humanity, as well as the media, is because when there are certain federal agreements, certain policies, rules, and regulations, family, that those individuals have when you are in the presence of war criminals and when you were aware of the Epstein files and the crimes in them before they were ever made public in recent months. I was the one, almost singularly, amongst any media, that stayed on top of the fact for years that Roland Martin was in the WikiLeaks files before the Epstein stuff came out recently. Even though many people knew about the Epstein stuff, I'm saying you all know that the files were recently released over the past few months. The reason why I kept emphasizing that Roland was in the WikiLeaks files because Roland's name came up in Hillary Clinton's email scandal connected to Podesta. Are y'all listening to me? I'm going to keep on stressing this. I got the article here. This is a Politico article that I keep referring to. There are many other ones that's out here. Y'all see this? Headline from Politico. What does it say? New email shows Brazil may have had the exact wording of proposed town hall question before CNN. What does that have to do with anything? Do you see Roland's name here in that paragraph? I'm making a point in just a minute. I'm going further in just a minute. The email obtained by Politico was written by Town Hall co-moderator Roland Martin on the day of the Town Hall to CNN producers, but it shows him using word for word the language of a question that Brazil appeared to have sent to the Clinton campaign a day earlier. That email from Brazil to the campaign was included in yesterday's release of hacked emails by WikiLeaks of Clinton campaign chair John Podesta. Why is that important and what does that have to do with anything? When you pull up John Podesta and Roland Martin's name, you will see basic information that pops up, right? John Podesta was Hillary Clinton's chairperson. John Podesta also was Bill Clinton's chief of staff during one of his administrations. John Podesta's emails were hacked, and it exposed what some called Pizzagate, which has to do with pedophilia. Roland's name came out in that bunch of emails. Now, we saw Roland not too long ago get caught live with him watching a man switch. On his computer, it was a man's booty, switch it. Now, if you go that way, that's you. But Roland didn't expect that to come out live when he was on TV, when he flipped to his computer. And on the computer, it showed Roland was looking at ostensibly male booties. At least one male booty that popped up on the screen for all of the world to see live. Now, this is what I want you all to understand. This happened years ago when Roland's name came up in the WikiLeaks stuff. That even CNN folks distanced themselves from Roland, and they even fired the black lady, Donna Brazile, because that's who Roland was connected to too. She admitted, first Donna Brazile, she lied too at first. Then she took responsibility. CNN fired her. CNN never wanted Roland back ever again. They was already, wanting to throw up at the sight of him in the first place. This was just a reason for them to justify their disgust of him anyway. But even Jake Tapper, all of them came out publicly against Roland, just so y'all know. So look this up. Look at me, y'all. So before the Republicans won this last time, Trump, that is to say, Roland's name came up years ago in the WikiLeaks files, connected to John Podesta, who was accused of all kinds of atrocious crimes against humanity, including pedophilia. And Roland's name came up in the context of that with Hillary Clinton's emails. Do y'all understand this? Look at me. What did Roland and other Democrats and other Democratic lawmakers know about credible information and allegations about powerful people that were directly engaged in sexual violence, crimes against women and children? Do y'all understand where I'm going now? I'm not talking about looking at Roland, which is hard to look at. I know that. It's really, really hard to look at it. But we have to try with all kinds of PPE on. How do y'all know what PPE is? Put in the chat. Where my construction people at? Don't trip, baby, because I had to learn how to drive a John Deere, baby. Ain't no shame in my game, baby. Somebody know what is PPE? Somebody tell me what PPE is in the chat. Tell me now. Why y'all laughing at me? Somebody tell me what is PPE in the chat. Tell me right now. Did I say it right? Somebody put it in the chat. If you work anywhere near construction, if you do any kind of landscaping, anything related to any heavy equipment, somebody tell me what that is. Thank you, Shalina. That's protective gear. You got to be protected when you gaze upon that thing. You got to have your goggles on. You got to have your what is it? Your jumpers on, baby. You got to have cream on. You got to have gloves on so you don't touch it. Your naked eye has no business tapping into that energetic. Everything got to be safe and protected. Hey, my sister, Miss Sharifa. She said, keep bringing around rotund, rolling, rude entity to heal supreme goddess. You are priceless. Baby, you supreme, right, baby? That's my sister right there, baby. Y'all, she's so prophetic. Oh, that's my goddess sister. Look, you got to. So at all times when you dealing with Roland, you always have to be protected. Spiritual seatbelts on, your PPE, baby. You don't just go just regular with him and nothing on. Look at me. Have you all noticed? Look at me. That Democrats and Republicans, but especially the black ones, have you all noticed how very few are demanding an investigation into the crimes that are alleged by all parties, including Donald Trump, and all parties, including the Clintons, all parties, including any and everybody that's in those files. Have you all noticed that they're not talking about how disgusted they are, knowing that they're said to have violated children and women, that they were eating bodies? Have you all noticed that the only thing that they're doing is saying how Trump is using this as a cover-up and Trump don't want the files to come out? All they're doing is playing politics with it, but they're not showing actual outrage to the actual crimes that are alleged in there. And they're not calling for widespread, open public hearings and investigation of everybody and the crimes listed. Not only, look at me, y'all, should we be demanding the rest of the files to be released and the unredacted, but even that is a red herring. Look at me. I said, look at me. We need to demand of the Democrats and the Republicans, you got enough information to start an investigation just on what you know, even with what's redacted and what's currently unredacted. How many of you all know that when you start an investigation with one thing, there's a process that's called discovery, which means that if the case moves forward, that means the discovery is going to include a whole tranche of other information that will open up the gate for a whole lot of other information and a whole lot of other people. But the fact that they're not already calling for investigations and prosecutions based on what they already know should tell you everything you need to know. Roland's name came up years ago in the WikiLeaks release connected to John Podesta. John Podesta is connected to what they was calling Pizzagate. Remember, they was lying saying Pizzagate was a fraud. Pizzagate was a conspiracy theory. Pizzagate was a sham. How many of y'all know that even though the technical word Pizzagate might not have been used a lot in the Epstein stuff, pizza is all through there. But how many of you all know that John Podesta, his brother, is said to have some unusual connection to one of the to have a political pact or some political organization or something that's shady. And he was Hillary Clinton's chairperson. And he was Bill Clinton's chief of staff at one time. Roland's name came up connected to a person that was accused of pedophilic behavior and crimes. And I want to know, did Roland file a grievance? And did Roland report them to the appropriate authorities? That's what I want to know. Because he had a responsibility to do so. And not just Roland, but all of your congressional Congress people. Why is Vicki talking about we should make this the priority? Mahmoud, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Peace and love, your wisdom is nourishment. Ashe, beloved, thank you so much. Your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Listen, in addition to what I said there, and Roland's name coming up, because it is believed that Roland had some inside knowledge or at least information. He may have. That's why we say investigate. Don't let nobody trick you by saying by Roland you want you to believe he wants you to just take his word for it. No, we want an investigation so we can figure it out. Because what the hell is your name coming up with these strange, wild crimes, even before the official Epstein stuff that came out in recent months? And Roland, we don't know. That's why we're calling for an investigation, because we want to know, were you aware of certain things? Look at him. Look at me. Not just him. Simone Sanders worked for Joe Biden. Simone Sanders worked for Kamala Harris. How many of you all know that a lot of folks that are directly connected to deep inside DC folks, how many of you all know that they have inside knowledge that we don't have? We want an investigation because we want to know, was Simone Sanders aware of this too? Joy Reid is believed to have direct pipeline either directly to Hillary Clinton or somebody that's connected to Hillary Clinton, because when Joy Reid, over years, when she was on MSNBC, she was always doing the bidding of Hillary, and it seemed like she was in direct connection with her people. I want to know, did Joy meet with Hillary or any of Hillary's people? Was Joy receiving talking points? And was Joy also aware of some of this sick, twisted, pedophilic stuff that was going on long before the Epstein stuff was released? Look at me, y'all. Do you all understand that when the Democrats control the White House, the Senate, and the House of Representatives, that they also had access to some of the Epstein stuff then, and they did not make it a big deal and release it and investigate it? Is it because there are a whole lot of Democrats' names all throughout it? And your Democrats are sick and twisted just like the rest of them? So instead of them being outraged about the crimes that were credibly alleged there or crimes that they may have known about, they instead want to use it as a political talking point to just screw Trump. And Trump needs to be screwed because Trump is disgusting. And any of you that's out there that's supporting Trump and acting like he's not, you're sick too. There are young girls that have said that Trump sexually violated them. One of them said that they bit his little stuff, little peanut, whatever. But I've been calling stuff bananas, but baby, banana might be too much. Whatever he got that's shaped like one of them. One of the victims said that she bit it and Trump assaulted her after the little girl was making fun of his little stuff. After she bit the little stuff. It was said that she bit the thing. And because she's a little girl, she bust out laughing, was talking over that she was overheard talking about biting the stuff. Child, all that's nasty. And that my understanding, physically assaulted her, if I remember correctly, and basically said, also threatened to delete one of the little girls. Now, how many of y'all know there's a whole lot of others that said that Trump credibly sexually violated them? Now, how many of y'all remember seeing pictures of Trump inappropriately out and about with his own daughter? How many of you all know that one of Trump's wives said in a deposition that Trump sexually violated her, and that was his wife? And then all of a sudden she backtracked, but she literally said that in a legal deposition, I believe, if I remember correctly. So there's a whole pile of stuff that Trump is alleged to have done. We all know that Trump had direct connections to the mafia and some other shady folks too. So y'all, we're not going to sit up here and act like that he's good for the world. No, no. So I'm making that point to say, yes, Trump should be looked into and should be held fully accountable. But how many of y'all know it's footage out there of Joe Biden sniffing and licking up inappropriately on little children? How many of you all know that there were credible allegations against Joe Biden too, but Joy Reid and the rest of them was covering for Joe because it's Joe Biden? Don't get tricked by one party saying that Trump is just covering up, is what I'm trying to get you to see. I want you to pay attention to the fact that with what they have now, they've got enough to call for investigations and prosecutions on what they have. That's what I'm saying. Look at me and your Congressional Black Caucus, as well as Roland and others, I'm saying need to be investigated to determine whether or not, look at me, they should be prosecuted. Look at me. Not only because of the Epstein file stuff, what they may or may not have known, or may have been involved in. Look at me, y'all. Y'all ready for this? But also for them pushing COVID on us. How many of you all know that there is more than enough evidence now that shows that COVID, the shots, were misused and infused with some other stuff that was meant to mess up the population? And when these things were reported to the major networks and other people that were in the know, how many of you all know that Roland, Don Lemon, Joy Reid, and all the others were cramming the shots down our throats, knowing full well that there were credible information and allegations that the powers that shouldn't be were trying to take us out, or at the very least, they knew that Black folks were coming forward to state that they were already getting sick, that some strange stuff was going on. And it was Joy Reid, it was the Roland Martins, and it was the rest of them that I say, in some instances, appeared to knowingly push what we now know to be poison on us. I'm saying that's another reason we need to investigate them for crimes against humanity. Look at me. And when we open up that door to investigate and where appropriate to prosecute Black media folks, Black politicians, look at me. Why, Vicki? Because they're not doing our bidding, but instead they're doing the bidding of our enemy. And we see that our enemy is trying to take us out. How many of you all know for the past several years, I have done back-to-back broadcasts showing you the Israeli governmental official who was a consul for Israel. She had other high-level governmental positions before she had that one. In a private recording, Ms. Varney Shore said that Black American youth, not Black youth in general, no, she was real specific, baby. Foundational Black Americans is who she's talking about. She said was an enemy for Israel. You didn't hear Joy Reid. You didn't hear Roland Martin. And you did not hear some of the other ones call for an investigation or a hearing, and where necessary and if appropriate prosecution against those that targeted Black Americans. But instead, I hope y'all can hear and see me okay, because I'm having some issues here. Can y'all hear and see me okay, fam? Let me try to pull this up on my device. Okay, somebody say, yeah, we can hear you, sis. Okay, let me keep going. Y'all, I'm telling you, I don't know what in the world on my end is going on, but y'all say y'all can hear me, so I'm going to keep going. So look, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to waste no time. I'm saying, since they're not doing our bidding, look at me. They're doing the bidding of our enemy. Israel, before October 7th, called for Black American youth, said that we were their enemy. Why do they want us to focus on Republicans when even our own Black legislator and media folks didn't call for hearings against Israel and where necessary, possible prosecution for our ally targeting Black American youth? What the hell do you need Roland in the Congressional Black Caucus for when they don't say nothing when a whole quote unquote country, a state has targeted Black American youth? Answer me. Where were they and where is Roland's demand for them to be prosecuted? Did Tamika Mallory, did my son's son, did any of them call for Israel and those Zionists for hearings to be had because they specifically targeted and named us as an enemy to their country? Have they demanded they be looked into with hearings because they train U.S. police, law enforcement? Do you all know that the Mossad agents, law enforcement for Israel, trained our military, our law enforcement in the United States? Do you know that they came here and also U.S. law enforcement folks flew there? Do you all know that some of the tactics that were done on some of our Black American brothers and sisters that were murdered at the hands of police or injured at the hands of police are said to be tactics that they learned from Israelis and Zionists? Have you heard Tamika? Have you heard the Congressional Black Caucus? Have you heard of your boule demanding investigations into them? I'm asking y'all to answer my question. They pushed COVID on us. And then they worked to silence our voices when Black folks were coming forward and Black women were saying that their cycles were off. They were mocking us when I was teaching our folks to do their own research. They were censoring us. That's the reason why we stopped using the word. How many of y'all remember I started using the word cocoa? How many of y'all know I had to switch up stuff online because they was messing with the algorithm so bad? How many of y'all know I ended up doing a low-cost offline 911 underground pandemic because they were censoring us online and demonetizing videos when I was exposing some of this stuff? Roland, Joy, especially Joy and some of the rest of them, they trying to rebrand themselves now, act like they down. But Joy had everything to do with urging the Biden administration to go further with their mandates And how many of you all know Black folks lost their jobs, some of them, because some of them was refusing to take the shots? How many of you all know that some of our people lost their homes through foreclosure? Folks that were renting through evictions because they were refusing those shots, and so therefore their jobs were in jeopardy? Look at me. How many of y'all remember that Black folks were advocating a form of modern Jim Crow, meaning that they said that we were not supposed to be eating in the same spots as other folks in public restaurants and places unless we got the shot? They were advocating, they were trying to enforce and advocate a new form of Jim Crow because we didn't want to take shots. I'm saying that there is reason to believe that almost all of them had knowledge that there was some crimes and that there was some malfeasance going on, and they still pushed it on us. Joy needs to take responsibility for that. Look at me. And if you attended my offline 911 webinars that I was doing about the pandemic, look at me. How many of you all know years ago, before the war that they are waging right now in the Middle East with Iran, before their invasion and overthrow of Syria and Syria's Bashar al-Assad, before even October 7th, I did a bunch of them. Some with Dr. Roland, some with Brother Reza, and one or two by myself, I think it was. Look. If you attended my offline webinars, don't say it in the chat. How many of you all know that before the wars that we've seen in recent years, how many of y'all know I gave you receipts that showed you that the very people that's at war with Iran right now, our ally, has something shady cooking up in their lab related to the pandemic? How many of y'all know I gave y'all the receipts on that from Black Scholarship? How many of y'all remember that there were different types of COVID strands that was specifically made? Don't play with me. And Joy Reid dogged us. And I'm saying that they need to be got for an investigation for both the Epstein possible cover-up stuff as well as the Netanyahu stuff. Look at me. Netanyahu right now, because of their response to October 7th, he has warrant out for his arrest by the International Criminal Court. Why are your Black politicians still hanging out with Netanyahu after what he did to the Palestinian people in recent years? How many of y'all know? Look at this picture here. Y'all see Cory Booker and other politicians that's sitting there with Netanyahu? They're standing there with Netanyahu, rather. He's standing there with a war criminal. He's standing there with a man that runs that's the head of a nation that said that Black American youth are their target, is the enemy to their country. How many of y'all remember Vicki won't stop talking about the Congressional Black Caucus twitch their hips over to Israel? The Congressional, why does Vicki keep bringing this up? Because the CBC, Congressional Black Caucus, mean they're supposed to be doing the bidding of Black folks, but they doing the bidding of Israel. They say no to Black reparations, but they say yes to billions of dollars to Netanyahu and his murderous regime. So I'm saying that we need to start saying investigations and hearings into your Black leadership so we can determine whether or not they should be prosecuted. Look at me. And we should start to put the fear of the divine in all of them, because not only prosecutions in the United States, do you all know that some of the stuff that they covered up related to the Epstein stuff and the COVID stuff has international implications? Do you all know that when we start looking at investigations, that it's likely that we could get Joy Reid and the rest of them on all kinds of stuff? that they violated against Black folks. So since you're not doing our bidding, you're doing the bidding of people that say that we're a target for them. You believe in supporting people by the billions of dollars for them other folks and supporting shots against us. So let's investigate you since you're showing yourself to be an advocate for them and an enemy to us. I'm not going to go over the same stuff that I've showed you before. But listen to something that Roland said a few minutes ago, and I'm going to give you another example of why I'm saying that your Black leadership in Congress should be investigated because of their connection to Epstein stuff. Not only for that, but I'm going to show you, give you some receipts. But what did Roland say recently?
I ignored the Simple Simons get.
That's not the reason. Hold on, y'all. Let me pull it up. Where is it? Everybody, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, share. Family, be sure to go to my website real quick while I'm trying to pull this up. My ladies, y'all see my yummy Venus magazine for women? Baby, I'm revealing to you the secrets of the goddess to live a luxurious life. How many of you all know that the life of luxury should not just be for millionaires? This is a magazine where I give you sacred goddess tips so that you can manifest a yummy life for the everyday woman, luxury for the everyday woman. Get yours today. My website link is pinned above. Yes? Guess what? For my men, I got a magazine just for men. Y'all, it's so cute, called Hannibal. Look, I'm revealing Hannibal command secrets and masculine spiritual commerce secrets. Baby, y'all look, baby. There's some pictures in here, and both of these I didn't share with the public. Get yours today. How many of y'all know that if you're a man, you can get one for you, get the man Hannibal for you, and then get one, the Venus, for the woman in your life, for your daughter, for your mama-in-law, for your baby mama. And women, same thing. Get you yours, sis, and then get one for your son, because I'm going to teach them sacred principles in here for manifesting as masculine, using masculine information. Are y'all listening? So go to my website, get that today. And also you can get your mini gavels over there. And everybody get your yummy 2026 pictorial calendar. We still fairly new in the beginning of the year. This is for women and men. It's such a look, baby. I'm not going to show you these yummy pictures. It's for men and women. It's good for any occasion. I got the best products. And even though it's yummy pictures, I'm dropping sacred secrets, and it's meant to be inspiration for you. Yes. So get your magazines, one for men, one for women, and get one for everybody in your life. And then this other one is your 2026 calendars. I made sure to buy extras. I did my pre-sales. Now that my pre-sales are sold or shipped out, now I got extras for everybody. Yes. And of course, those that got the magazines early, they saved. So that's the benefit of those that got it early. So now that I got some extras in bulk, get yours today. Yes. So go to my website to get all your stuff. I made sure that the printers got me extras, but all my pre-sale people, they're the ones that saved a few dollars, and they're the first ones that getting their shipments sent out. So we've already shipped out all of the ones that were waiting so patiently for that. And so you can get yours today. The rest of them are ready to be shipped now since I actually got the official ones. So now I'm pushing the regular ones now. Yes. Thank you so much, family, for your patience on that commercial. Now, this is something that Roland just put out. I think, was it today? Like I told you, it just came across my desk. It's amazing
how y'all had a whole lot of shit to say. Where Kamala?
Watch this. Look at this nut.
Ain't it amazing?
This is the one that just came out, y'all. Now listen to how he starts it.
When I listen to so-called Black-loving Black people who got lots of smoke for Democrats, but they don't say nothing about this here. They don't say nothing about the poly markets and all of these little betting apps and how folks are making millions and millions and accounts opening right before Trump makes an announcement. Y'all, last week, Trump pardoned 77 people who engaged in Medicare and Medicaid fraud. Straight ass fraud. Folk buying pardons. One dude got arrested because he tried to extort somebody who owed him money.
Family, Roland can never say that Vicki has supported Trump and that I don't go off on Trump. I do detailed, insightful information related to Trump and others, and I have for years. But I've kept a strong emphasis on the Democrats. Why? Because disproportionate numbers of Black folks vote for Democrats. When you give power to a particular party, you are going to hold that party accountable in a way that you wouldn't the others because you're actually giving them power to change your condition. But the party that we gave so many votes for years, decades, is the same party like Kamala, like Barack Obama, that before they ever was in office or before they was even anywhere near the White House, they all said no to reparations. How many of you all know that before Barack Obama won the presidency, he was on the debate stage with CNN, and the moderator specifically asked who was for reparations, and every single Democrat said they were against it. Joe Biden said he was against it. Hillary said she was against it. Obama said he was against it, and others, except for Dennis Kucinich. Kamala, since then, when she was running, before she got out of the race with Joe Biden, y'all remember, before he won this last time, when she was specifically asked about reparations, she said no, nothing for just Black people. Before Trump started this recent war with Iran, Kamala was asked when she was running, what were her thoughts about Iran and Israel's action with them? She supported it. Remember, no Democrat on that issue and funding for the war machine that is the United States, they all for that. As far as I know, I've been one of the main voices that have been focusing on the trillions of dollars that's missing in the Pentagon. Tell me I'm not the main one that's been talking about it. And guess what? Trump just put out another proposal for $1.5 trillion in recent days for the 2027 financial agenda, a military proposal. Trump just made another proposal in recent days for 2027 for another $1.5 trillion, mostly for the military. We have told the Democrats over and over again, we are happy to vote for you if you push for tangibles for Black Americans. And they said, hell no. Joy Reid and other mainstream voices were not bringing us on to hear from us. They tried to suppress our voices. And how many of you all know that some of them even advocated for certain social media networks to engage in censorship? How many of you all know about the Twitter files? Remember, the Twitter files came out after Joe Biden was in office to show that it was a Biden administration that was engaged in threatening online social media platforms for elevating certain alternative media voices. Remember when Joy Reid in 2019, remember many times she did it, but at least in 2019, for sure, she put up a big old poster specifically with the word FBA on it, among other Black groups that targeted us because we were demanding reparations before we voted. Remember when Tiffany Cross was on MSNBC and Roland was on there with her for a couple of weekends before she was fired? And she called out some of us in alternative media and told the audience not to listen to us. Remember during this last election, Black advocates were so strongly engaged in politics. How many of y'all remember my interviews with Sister Jessica Jackson? How many of you all know that before the elections, it was Black Chicagoans that were it was y'all all over the country, but specifically those in Chicago, that y'all were so strong in your political activism. Y'all were packing the hearings. The Black Americans were so politically active that Black Democrats in Chicago tried to change the rules to stop Black folks from coming out in large numbers. And how many of you all remember when Black Chicagoans were saying, Democrats, we're happy to vote for you, but you got to make sure you take care of us and not give other folks money that you don't give us. How are you all going to sit here and tell us that you're worried about immigrants in Chicago, but you are stepping over Black homeless people? Guess what Democrats did? Do you all know that the Democrats threatened not to even have their DNC convention in person for a minute? They were actually contemplating having a digital DNC so that we would not embarrass them because they were so concerned about Black activists. Anytime you hear one of them tricks tell you that we ain't quote unquote outside, no, we're outside more than any of them ever were. They don't like how we're politically active. See, when we hold them accountable, when we show up strong to all their meetings, when we show up strong for voting, how many of y'all know it was Black Chicagoans that shut down Black Democrats out there in Chicago and in Illinois in general from opening up more locations for illegals to have a place to stay in their neighborhoods, when they said that they weren't even doing background checks on them, so that Black families over there were concerned that they were using old empty schools and old buildings in Black neighborhoods. They were bringing in folks that might have been committing all kind of crimes in their countries, but because we weren't doing background checks and we were just opening up doors on all of them, they wanted Black folks to just absorb people that might commit crimes against their own children. How many of y'all know it was Black Americans that were stopping some of that from going on? And the Democrats resented it. So it was the Democrats in Chicago, for example, that made a proposal. Brandon Johnson was one of them that made a proposal that before Black folks could come to political meetings, they wanted you to have a certain state issue ID, government issue ID. They wanted you to sign up days in advance so they could check you out before you came. And they wanted to change where you could be seated during the hearings and put you up basically on a whole nother level so that you're not directly on the floor anymore. How many of you all know that a third-party government agency sent the Democrats in Chicago a letter to tell them, fools, those new policies that you're proposing, yeah, might be illegal, fool. So the same Democrats that told you that it's racist for Republicans to demand that you have ID to vote, and there are some problems with some of the IDs, don't get it wrong. But the very ones that told you that it was racist for the Republicans to demand IDs, it was the Democrats that was demanding IDs for you to even come to a political meeting because we were showing up so strong. Where was Tamika at? Where was my son's son at? When Black folks were begging the Democrats to hear their cries. Look at me. How many of you all know out there in California, they have been very successful with their reparations on the local level out there? How many of you all know that there were funds that were allocated for a reparations task force? That's not the exact name, but I'm using it as a general name right now, okay? Do you all know that the Black Legislative Caucus in California, they were pretending like they were for it? And it took a Republican to bring the bill to the floor to expose the fact that it was the Democrats that was actually holding up the legislation. But because the elections was coming up, the Democrats sabotaged it. And some of the Democrats' names are actually on the legislation. They sabotaged their own bill for reparations out there, Black folks. How many of y'all know I played you all the footage of one of the Black top organizers for reparations out there? He was on a radio show. I played it for you. Guess what he revealed? He revealed that the Black Legislative Caucus out there secretly sent a letter to Gavin Newsom asking that some of the money that was initially allotted for some of the reparations task force, they asked that those funds be redirected to some of their buddies. Your Black legislators secretly wrote a letter to lily white Gavin Newsom. Remember, your Black legislators out there was the one that told you that they can't do nothing because Gavin is the one that holding it up. But Gavin Newsom was willing to be the Black face, the white face, knowing that Black folks was behind the scene, the Black legislators were behind the scenes sabotaging it. Where's Roland about that? There is no greater activist than us. And the Democrats at every turn sabotaged it. The reparations were almost a shoo-in, and all they needed to do was to bring it to the floor for that final vote. And because the Democrats were called out, a Republican was the one that put it to the floor, even though the Republican was against it. But the Republican only did it to expose the fact that it's the Democrats that's actually holding it up. And some of the Democrats were behind the scenes, he said, asking him not to do it so that they wouldn't be exposed. So I want you all to explain to me, why in the hell did the Black Legislative Caucus in California secretly write a letter to lily white Gavin Newsom asking that reparations money that was supposed to be for their task force be redirected to some of their buddies to control? And why is it that the Democrats were slow walking the whole time when they were the ones that was behind holding up the reparations in California. How many of you all know I did broadcast on the Latina and other Latinos that was in a meeting in California, the city council in California, that was calling Black folks the N-word, monkeys. But people got caught up in the name calling of these racist Latino people in California that were city council people, lawmakers. But they didn't focus on the part that I was focusing on. It wasn't just a name calling. It's not only their racism. The meeting that they were having had to do with redistricting. They were changing the maps. And how many of you all know that when the woman was caught on audio, she stepped down after much pressure. And even at the time, the White House, Joe Biden and them was forced to denounce them. Now, why would the White House denounce the Californians there? I broke down the fact that I believe that there was a connection between the National Democratic Party and the takeover of certain parts of California, that they were supposed to be working in tandem and hand in hand, so that the White House and the Democrats at large had to distance themselves from it. I'm saying we shouldn't even let that go just because she stepped down. Where are the Black folks around the country that's demanding an investigation to the Democrats and what they were up to with the remapping and what else might have been going on for them to feel so comfortable dogging Black folks while they are taking over Black areas? Somebody just said, I remember that. Somebody else is saying facts. I'm giving y'all a lot of receipts off my dome without no receipts right now, because I've been giving you receipts over the past few years on this stuff. I'm bringing this up because I'm trying to tell you all that at every turn, the Democrats could have did something they didn't. Let me tell you something else. Some of you that may say they need legislation. No, they don't. Look at me. Raise your hand if you remember when them Asians came out a few years ago during COVID talking about stop Asian hate. And the Asians was blaming and making Black folks the face of them. They claimed that they was experiencing more racism during COVID. And they made Black folks the face of that stop Asian hate BS. And how many of y'all know that me and other Black media folks was calling that out as some BS? How come y'all ain't hearing nothing about no stop Asian hate right now? How many of y'all know I called it out early on that I told y'all it was a finesse? And I told y'all that the Asian community was making Black folks the face of the lie that they were being overwhelmingly targeted during COVID. Because I told you they was trying to do a play for money. Because all of a sudden you heard stop Asian hate at the same time. You heard Black athletes going for it. You had on Black networks, everywhere you go, posters and placards everywhere. Stop Asian hate. What happened? I told you, Republicans and Democrats both overwhelmingly supported legislation for Asians. But that ain't all. Asians got money that did not require any legislation under the Democrats. How did they do it? And Vicki Dillard was the main voice that exposed how they did it. After the Asians stood there with Congress, including some Black Congress people, smiling for legislation for stop Asian hate after they did that fake Asian hate campaign, making Black folks the face of it. The one or two times they was assaulted, it was by mostly white folks. How many of y'all know that? I said, how many of y'all know that? What happened after that? What did the Democrats do? I said, the Democrats, they didn't need no legislation, y'all. Are y'all listening? The Democrats used the fake Stop Asian Hate campaign that tried to make Black folks the face of a major surge in crime against Asians. How many of y'all know that the numbers were inflated to where when the census came out, they had to adjust the numbers in some different areas of the United States after the Stop Asian Hate campaign was over. And they showed that statistically the numbers weren't changed that much, and that the number one group that was still targeted for racial violence was Black folks. I said they had to adjust the numbers in certain areas because they was inflated. Watch this. When that happened, what happened? How many of y'all know that when Asian businesses were experiencing loss during COVID, just like all businesses were? But the Asians, the Democrats did not want to lose, and neither did the Republicans. They did not want to lose Asian love for either party. Remember, I told you it was almost overwhelming majority from both Republicans and Democrats that supported the legislation for them Asian folks. But how did they get millions of dollars? Guess what your Democrats did? They redirected money that was already in the agencies to their communities. And I told y'all a few years ago that the reason why they had to make a fake campaign and make Black folks the face of quote unquote violence against them, because that was the only way they were going to get Republicans on board for this quote unquote legislation. They were going to use that legislation, that fake campaign that said that they was overwhelmingly targeted for racial violence. They used that so they could justify sneaking them some money. The Democrats did not need to pass no new laws. They needed no new policies. All they did was the agencies that they already control, they redirected money in those agencies to them. How come they didn't do that for us? How many of y'all know I broke down after I was exposing the fact that the United States, we've been giving Nazi-ass Ukrainians Social Security, a form of Social Security. And some of you little weirdos were saying, no, it ain't. Yes, it was. After I said it, then Dr. Umar started coming out saying it. He should give me credit for that, like a lot of other stuff. Why am I bringing it up? Do you know that your government urged regular Americans to open up their home for Nazi Ukrainians? I believe that they did that so they could have a permanent address to justify giving them Social Security money. They didn't just get Social Security. They got SNAP, and they got, what's that called when they give you money for housing? What's it called for housing, y'all? Not SNAP. SNAP is for food. They got SNAP, they got Social Security, and then they got something else. I don't forgot. Somebody remind me what that is when they give you money to help for housing. What's that called? Somebody said Section 8. Yeah, but it's another word for that. It was a voucher. Somebody say HUD. It's another word I'm looking for. It was basically a voucher, but it's a name for it, not Section 8. I don't think it's called Section 8. Maybe it is Section 8, but it's something else that it's another word I'm looking for, but it's for housing. It's a TANF. Whoever said that, kiss to you. That's what it is. That's the word. I'm trying to be technically correct. So whoever said TANF, that's the word I'm looking for. Yes, that's what they got. Look at me. So in addition to us sending them hundreds of billions of dollars with the B, I believe it's up to the trillions and more. But hundreds of billions of dollars over there, they let them come here. Why do I believe that they asked regular Americans, thousands of Americans volunteered to let strange Nazi Ukrainians come to the United States? Look at me, y'all. Guess why? I believe. So they could justify them getting Social Security and having a physical permanent address. But guess what the legislation called the Ukrainians that came to the United States? Parolees. That's the legal term that's used in the documents. Look it up and research it. Y'all know I do my research before I just run my mouth on stuff. When I was bringing that up, look at me, y'all. One of you all who was a tax preparer blew the whistle and told me, Sister Vicki, you were exactly right, I'm paraphrasing, about the Ukrainians getting all these benefits. But she said, as a tax preparer, and I did broadcast on this, do you know that your government, with the backing of Republican and Democrats, give a reparations tax write-off to Armenian people for a genocide that they said took place 100 years ago? I knew the lady was lying until I did my research. I pulled up the IRS website. I showed it on the broadcast that I did on African Diaspora News Channel. I think I did one here and other place. I did back to back ones. I did a few. Because y'all don't be paying no attention to what I'm saying. Both Republican, I said, and Democrats for years allowed Armenians to get, is it 100,000? It may be a couple of 100,000 in tax write-offs for literally reparations. Kim Kardashian family, that's exactly what I called them too, baby. That's what I put in one of my broadcasts. I said, them Kim Kardashian people. Y'all, why are we waiting for quote unquote Congressmen to get it together? Do you all know that Trump and with the stroke of a pen could demand that the IRS give Black Americans our lineage write-offs like they did just for the Armenians? After I did that broadcast, if you try to pull it up on Google, they're trying to suppress the documents, but it's still information that's out there. And you can go to the IRS website and see certain treaties that we got with certain countries and certain write-offs that different groups get. These are things that require no legislation to get us some form of tangibles. Roland, let me do this because I'm having problems right now. Everybody hit that thumbs up button, share. Everybody make sure that you join my monthly mastermind, the Vicki Dillard Mystery School too. You can join my school for a very low cost, baby. I'm always putting my students on. They get miracles and breakthroughs. How many of you all know the world is changing and you're going to have a spiritual backing in order to rule the new world to come? You need to be getting prepared now. Talk black to me, somebody. I said, talk black to me, somebody. Can y'all hear and see me okay? Family, let me know in the chat if you can hear and see me okay. Y'all saying, yes, child, everybody can see me okay. I don't know why I'm having such problems today. I got to hurry and get off here. Look, y'all, look. I want y'all to hear this part where Roland, recently, this just came out, is calling us out our name. Here we go.
Trump pardoned 77 people.
Hold on.
Families y'all have had on your shows whose loved ones have been shot and killed by the cops, but they can't call the DOJ.
Shut up.
I'll wait.
He talking about us right here.
Show me how many of y'all are standing up when Black DAs are being attacked. Oh, I'll wait. Show me how many of y'all are sitting here standing up for Black women. 600,000 laid off, 700,000 Black men. The Black unemployment rate has gone up. Ain't it amazing how all of these loudmouths are mighty quiet about Black unemployment going sky high?
Roland, shut up. First of all, you're illegitimate. You're from a whole nother realm and world of all sorts of rejected entities and species. Everybody knows our work has always been pro-Black before, during, and after elections. That's the reason why you don't like us. But Roland is getting ready to say something here that is very, very interesting. And I want y'all to listen real good. Nobody fights harder for real Black people, but we're not going to be fighting for no gatekeepers. We're trying to get y'all the hell out of Dodge. Notice how he's sitting there saying that we're not talking about all these other things. No, Roland, we want you to talk about the pedophilia. That's what we want you to talk about, Roland. We want you to talk about the murder and the countries and the nation and the people that's targeting Black Americans. We'll get, see, reparations got something to do with all our economics. Reparations got something to do with our businesses. Reparations got to do with us funding our families and our loved ones and paying our bills and getting home ownership. See, when you take care of reparations, you take care of a whole lot of other stuff. You see how Roland is piecemealing and want us to focus on one of these little off secondary and tertiary side items instead of the main thing? Don't get tricked by that. That's a trick. But listen to what he gonna say.
But y'all still got smoke for Kamala and Joe.
Hell yeah, we do.
Now, I ain't got a problem if you have a real critique.
We have a real critique
of Kamala Harris or Joe Biden.
Y'all see them eyes? Everybody say with me right now, wherever you are in the world. Say, Roland, stop looking at us like that on the camera like that. You're scaring us. We don't have our PPE on yet. We're not protected yet from the eyeballage. We don't know, damn it, what unseen wavelength is popping up, rays are popping up out of whatever it is that you are, baby. Somebody say, stop looking at us like that. Somebody say, stop looking at us like that.
Notice you're real quiet about Donald Trump. And my last point before I go to my next
Watch
guest,
this.
let me just go ahead and say this here because I ain't got a problem saying it. And I told y'all I'm trying not to cuss. And I was really trying to hold back. No, leave it on the forge. I'm really trying hard not to cuss, and I really want to go there. But you sorry assholes. It's amazing how y'all had a whole lot of shit to say. Where Kamala? Where Kamala? We don't see Kamala. Where Kamala? What's she doing? But y'all ain't got shit to say about J.D. Vance. Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing, you simple Simon Negroes. Where Kamala? Where's she at? She ain't doing nothing. What's she doing? She ain't doing nothing for our people. Where? J.D. Vance ain't doing a damn thing. In fact, J.D. Vance...
Family, J.D. Vance, like all the rest of them, can go to hell. But Roland wants us to high-five another devil over another one. No, we want the whole system to be thrown in the trash, especially the ones that's demanding that Black folks show up so that you can misuse our votes. It's a strategy for us to put pressure on one party and to use that to target them with our energy because we've given them so much power over the years. They owe us. So yes, we're going to put a lot of pressure on them to make them bend to our will, or they ain't going to get nothing from us. The reason Roland is talking about this now, y'all know why Roland is doing this now, right? Roland is doing this preventative stuff because how many of y'all know that the elections is getting ready to come up in November? How many of y'all know that? Family, how many of you all know, and I got to hurry up, how many of you all know that the elections are coming up? The 2026 elections are coming up. Which ones? November 3rd, 2026 is the midterm elections, y'all. It's scheduled to occur during the Republican president, as we know here. I'm just reading the basic information. Donald Trump's non-consecutive second term. Why is this important? All 435 seats in the U.S. House of Representatives and 35 of the 100 seats in the U.S. Senate will be contested to determine the 120th U.S. Congress. Look at me, y'all. I want all of us to give all the Democrats hell. That's what Roland's scared about. So he started now in spring to set the pace. Right now, while it's spring, I want all of us to keep dogging the Democrats real hard, real strong. That's why Roland is doing this now, to try to make it like y'all ain't saying it. No, Roland, you're not saying nothing about a whole country that said Black American youth are their enemy. Roland, you're not saying nothing about Armenians getting reparations, tax write-offs, and us still sending trillions of dollars, giving trillions of dollars to a State Department that has not passed an audit in years. How many of y'all saw my broadcast I did the other day? How many of y'all know one of the Black Target organizers who co-founded the Target boycott? How many of y'all know she humiliated Roland the other day? And I showed y'all the footage. She exposed Jamal Bryant, Tamika Mallory, Nina Turner, and she exposed Roland. Roland is trying to change the subject because she is somebody that believes even in the systems that I don't believe in. But I played some of what she said because what she said was useful when she exposed Roland. She exposed the fact that shortly after her and other Black women locally started the boycott against Target because they made promises there in Minneapolis area about the George Floyd stuff, which a lot of us didn't know about. She said that she confronted Jamal Bryant about that early on last year. And Jamal Bryant gaslit her. She said he hired PR firms to position himself as the leader of the boycott. And then when Roland interviewed her, she exposed that. She said Tamika, Nina Turner, Jamal, she said they are not welcome in their town, baby. Look, then to Roland's face, she said, Roland, you messaged me and wanted me to do a coalition with them and us. Roland started stuttering extra hard and bouncing and gyrating when she exposed that. He started trying to talk over her when she exposed the fact that shortly after the boycott started, Roland contacted her for her to do a coalition with her and them other folks. Now, family, how many of y'all remember that during COVID, most of us didn't know that certain members of the NAACP, and I believe it was Urban League, if I haven't mistaken, some of your Black groups received COVID funds. And they didn't tell you that that was one of the reasons why they was pushing COVID on you so hard. How many of you all know that Roland got busted when we found out that Kamala's campaign gave him hundreds of thousands of dollars? And when we exposed him, Roland started talking about all the other people that got way more money than him, that were white. The problem is, Roland, you were sucking up to Kamala and you did not voluntarily disclose it initially. You were busted. I'm bringing that up to tell you all that these are your people that's working against you behind the scenes. And that Target boycott lady exposed Roland. She exposed Jamal Bryant. She exposed Tamika Mallory. She exposed Nina Turner. And she exposed other Black media outlets, she said, who are pretending that they don't know the truth. She called out the Breakfast Club. She called out CNN. She said because, she said Jamal Bryant hired a PR person to get him on those shows so that he could look like he was the organizer, the leader of it. And this is how your Black boule types silence your voice. So there were certain groups that were supposed to be pro-Black that was secretly getting COVID money that y'all didn't know about, and it was cramming that stuff down your throat. Why didn't Roland tell us that shortly after the boycott started last year, that one of the top boycott organizers, who is an attorney, told him directly that Jamal Bryant, Tamika Mallory, and Nina Turner were not credible? Those are not my words. She said it to Roland. I didn't know that until she busted him and said it in public recently. Why didn't Roland tell us that he was plotting and asked her to do a coalition between them? You know why, y'all? Because they count money. The lady said that Jamal Bryant and the others did not have a good agenda. Why? They were already successfully doing a boycott. She said they didn't need Jamal Bryant, she said. She said, I don't need no Tamika Mallory. So it appears that Jamal Bryant and them, and even Reverend Al Sharpton and the rest in the beginning, saw that this was already something successful that they wanted to attach themselves to with a big multi-billion-dollar corporation like Target, so that they could get them some money out of it, indirectly, or some of their folks' money. And she was the one that exposed Roland just the other day. How many of y'all saw my video on it? Go look at the lives here from a week and a few days ago. She busted him. She called Jamal Bryant's apology theatrics. She said that she needed to do some kind of a cleanse or something, she said, after watching that mess. And that's when she exposed that she called Jamal Bryant out last year directly. And after she said he gassed her, that's when he hired a PR person to make himself look like he was the leader of the whole thing. And now Jamal Bryant is supposed to be y'all's bishop and pastor, or whatever his title is now. Did he tell you all publicly when he came out with that apology after everybody started fussing at him for stopping the boycott? Did he tell you all that shortly after the boycott started last year, that one of the directors, who's an attorney, called him out on it? They kept that secret. Roland called us just recently. That video I showed you is a recent video that just came up. He called us hoes, stupid hoes. Y'all heard it? Or whatever. Yeah, he said some other words there too. Roland, look at me, should be concerned that we're demanding him, if investigation finds it, that he be prosecuted if he's investigated over the COVID stuff and the Epstein stuff. Roland and others. That's our angle, Black family. Right now, every major Black media person that assisted in cramming COVID down our throat, if they had knowledge that COVID was poison, not the shots, rather, I'm saying that some of them was poison, they need to be investigated and held accountable, as well as the Epstein stuff. Meaning that if they were aware that some of those crazy crimes against humanity took place and they did nothing, we're saying that we need to have an investigation to determine that. Give you one last example. In addition to all the other stuff that I always show you all, how many of y'all know this? This is from CNN. I know some of y'all like to still trust them wicked mainstream media outlets, but even they discussed this a few months back, November 2025. What does this headline say? What's his headline say, family? Y'all see y'all Black Congress people there? House Democrat exchanged texts with Epstein during a 2019 hearing. Watch this, y'all. I'm bringing this up to tell you all, when they want you to get somebody that's a Democrat or that's Black, y'all ain't no different. You all is just as sick as the rest of them. Don't let Roland say we're not talking about J.D. Vance. No, we believe all Epstein criminals need to be investigated equally. No, Roland, we want to know, why was your name in the files, in the emails with Podesta, who's known as a part of Pizzagate, Roland? That's what we want to know, Roland. We want to know about that, Roland. That's what we want to know about. Watch this. Y'all look at the screen real close, okay? This is a very brief clip of a hearing. And with the hearing, this is from Washington Post. This clip is from Washington Post. I'm going to show you. Watch this. This is the Black lawmaker that's saying that Epstein was texting her during a hearing, y'all. Y'all see this? Delegate Stacey Plaskett of Virginia, of Virgin Islands.
This was when Barack Obama was president of the United States.
Look close.
And while we were once driving through a struggling neighborhood in Chicago, he commented,
look at her,
that only Black people could live that way. Attorney-client privilege, yes, I will turn it over.
You, as my friend Mr. Meadows pointed out, misled this committee even today in a written submission that contradicted your testimony. You have suggested you are going to review that. Did you review? Are you going to review it in our next break to correct the record? Yes or no?
Look at her.
Question: you helped out the president's campaign, or were involved in the campaign as a representative, as a spokesman. Even in your words today, it was your idea for the campaign dating back to 2011. Is that accurate? Yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Weisenberg and other individuals, Ms. Rona. Who are those individuals? Are they with the Trump organization?
They
and
are.
Are there other people that we should be meeting with?
So Alan Weisenberg is the chief financial officer.
You got to quickly give us as many names as you can so we can get to them.
Yes, ma'am.
Is Ms. Rona, what is Ms. Rona's position?
Rona Graff is Mr. Trump's executive assistant.
And would she be able to corroborate many of the statements that you've made here?
Yes, her office is directly next to his, and she's involved in a lot that went on.
Watch this. Your Black Democrat family sitting there texting with Epstein, allegedly. What else happened, Vicki? Do other people know she did that? Maybe. What had happened was, what happened? Where is it at? I had something else ready for this. So Ralph Norman, sometime back, brings a motion. He's a white Republican, brings a motion to censure Stacey Plaskett. That's the Black Democrat you just saw there. That was allegedly texting with Epstein live during the hearing. But I'm going to show you, this clip is from Forbes. What does it show, Vicki? Forbes News. Ralph Norman brings a motion to have her censured.
A proselyte in a plea deal in 2008 and served a 13-month prison sentence. Whereas in the
Give me 1 second, family.
course of that investigation, the FBI compiled reports on dozens of confirmed minors who credibly alleged sexual abuse by Mr. Epstein. Whereas Epstein was under further federal investigation beginning in November of 2018, 2 months before Delegate Plaskett's recently revealed text exchange during a congressional hearing, following investigative reporting by the Miami Herald detailing Epstein's controversial 2008 plea deal and highlighting accounts of his victims. Whereas Epstein was arrested in July of 2019 and charged with 1 count of sex trafficking of minors and 1 count of conspiracy to commit sex trafficking of minors, he was later found dead in the New York Metropolitan Correctional Center.
Now, this was a few months back, November 2025. Look at me. Were the Republicans playing politics when they demanded that that black legislator be censured for texting with Jeffrey Epstein live during the hearing? Yes, they were. Because how many of you all know that Republicans are all through the Epstein files? Look at me, y'all. But that still does not stop the fact that your black, even female Democrats didn't just have a relationship or connection to Epstein, but after he was convicted of certain crimes at that time, she was texting with him, credibly, allegedly, live during a hearing. No, Roland is not going to make us change subjects. Everything I discussed today is what the topic is. Nothing else. Roland, since they love Netanyahu, maybe they can be investigated and prosecuted together for crimes against humanity, for all the stuff that I just listed for the past almost 2 hours. If you just came in, watch the whole thing. If you didn't watch it from the beginning, watch everything, because you would have missed something, because I brought up a lot of stuff that exposes the Democrats. So when Roland is talking, no, Ninja, you all, some of y'all Democrats are some devils. And we believe in the whole file of both parties being prosecuted. Don't you agree, Roland? Roland, why did your name come up in the WikiLeaks file from years ago? Connected to someone that's said to be a stank pedophile. That's how we learned about Roland's connection with Hillary and what he was plotting behind the scenes during her campaign, because his name came up in the Podesta stuff related to Hillary. What did Roland know or may have known? When they cram COVID down our throat, all of that stuff is what I'm trying to tell you all. We need to be demanding. We need to be filing grievances where we can. We need to be holding hearings where we can. And there's some stuff that I'm going to be talking to you all about offline when I start doing my Black Town Halls. I've already done one before in Chicago, and I'm getting ready to plan my next one. It's going to be a small group, but we're going to be talking some stuff we talk online, some stuff we do offline. But guess what? The bodies that are supposed to be holding the powers that shouldn't be accountable, they're not doing their jobs. Guess what the citizens going to have to do? We're going to have to figure out something else to make sure you're held accountable. Somebody said, please, Detroit. Okay, baby. I ain't going to lie. Detroit was in my mind, too. Somebody said that she was from Virgin Islands, where he purchased his island from. Baby, let me tell you something. This is why I'm telling you all that more and more of them Democrats, we need to make them our target first. Since y'all going to be the first enemy, we're going to deal with you accordingly. We told you reparations. You gave us the middle finger. And you flew your hips over to Israel. And you turning yourself and you making yourself an enemy against us, but you're going to be allies with them. Oh, no, Ninja, we got you. I'm going to talk about the solutions offline. It's time for a righteous government to rise. And so the people that's supposed to be holding the powers that shouldn't be accountable, they join them for biscuits. What did Angela Rye know? Because Angela Rye, she wasn't no congressperson, but how many of y'all know she was an aide on Capitol Hill with Congress people? Did Angela know anything about this all them years? This is how we have to start thinking. And not just talking, not just threatening, but this is the time. Since they want to see us outside, baby, we're going to continue our political activism. Y'all figure out ways to get the Asians community money. You figure out ways to give Armenians, Kim Kardashian family, $100,000 write-offs for the IRS, and you can't do nothing for us? Okay, we got you. We got you. That's the target, because we give them power. And when people say we don't give Republicans the work, tell them this. We're going to start first things first. It's too big of, we're not going to bite off more than we can chew. We're going to focus on one party first, and then we're going to get to the other. That's what our talking point need to be. Don't even go with the other stuff no more. No, we're going to get to the Republicans. We just decided strategically we're going to start with the Democrats first. Investigations. Investigations, and where appropriate, prosecutions. Lord, thank you for your gift. She said, get them, Vicki. Yes, baby, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Look at me. I got to go. That's where we at, family. And so we are the greatest activists that's out there. We're the ones whose voice they tried to silence. They came against Vicki Dillard when I was fighting for us over the COVID stuff. When I helped with the so many injustices our Black family deals with. But they refuse to listen. They want to change the subject, and they want to pretend like something else is more important than what we said. No, over here, we say first things first. When they say, y'all don't never give the Republicans, no, we giving the Republicans the word. Vicki always does. But right now, we're going to spend our first strategy on the Democrats. And when they say that from now on, we're not going to give them no explanation. Say, we're going to get the Republicans next. We're going to focus on one party at a time. Say, we can't bite off more than we can chew right now. So we want to start with hearings and investigations into y'all. And then we'll take it from there. Last thing. The great Dr. Claude Anderson, Powernomics. How many of y'all know who I'm talking about? Why does Vicki quote Dr. Claude Anderson? Because Roland and the rest of them boulets, they're not smart and intelligent. Dr. Claude Anderson, look at me, y'all, worked in the administration for Jimmy Carter. Dr. Claude is not only an economist, businessman, was in media and a bunch of other stuff. Dr. Claude literally worked in administrations. He ran other successful campaigns on local levels, state levels, worked in the educational department and some more stuff. And he has a privilege of academia. So when Roland act like that they so smart and they know all about strategy, no, let's talk to somebody that actually worked in the administration. Let's talk to a Black man that worked in the commerce department and was responsible for getting Black businesses a disproportionate number of Black contracts and stuff because of Dr. Claude's influence. Dr. Claude negotiated with Strom Thurmond. Raise your hand if you know something about Strom Thurmond. Raise your hand if you know that Dr. Claude Anderson did some negotiation with them folks and got Black judges on the bench back in the day. Can't none of them biscuits tell us ish over here. What did Dr. Claude tell us? On page 186. What is it 186? He says Black Americans have always been excluded from playing politics by the official rules of the game. Every time we sought to play by the rules changed or the game ended before we had a chance to play. Therefore, rather than continuing to be like a dog chasing his tail, we need to simply step back and look outside the box. In the action steps outlined in this chapter, we suggest ways in which we should alter our behavior or change the accepted rules of politics. But in all instances, we must adhere to the fundamental rule of all politics. Y'all ready for this? Quid pro quo. Somebody put quid pro quo in the chat. It means something for something. Or at a more familiar level, it means you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. He said, those who invest their time and energy and resources in support of a political issue, candidate, or political party expect to be compensated in a manner that is equal to their investment. That's what this insider tells us. He says, I'm skipping to the next page, page 187. He says, the worst part of the picture is that Black America has not demanded a quid pro quo relationship. In explaining how Cuban refugees in Miami were able to economically and politically surpass and subordinate Blacks in Miami within 1 decade, a Cuban told me, quote, "We are not like Black people who always march, demonstrate, then beg. We demand what we want. Blacks have petitioned for freedom and equality, but never demanded quid pro quo compensation for their political loyalty, labor, patriotism, or cultural contributions. Powernomics urges Black voters to begin to move towards the politics of patronage for the entire race and not just a few visible Blacks." How many of y'all know that's what Roland them called them visible Blacks? Lord, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold, precious. Lord said we must support Black voices. Ashe, thank you for giving blessing. She said, give, y'all. Thank you. Your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Listen, he says, I'm skipping. Both Black and white candidates for public office, various political parties, and this nation all get a free ride with Black voters. Black voters are led to believe there are two purposes to vote. Number one, to elect the white candidate who is best able to lead and control resources, or two, to elect the Black candidate who is most deserving of a public job and personal recognition. He says the most we get is personal satisfaction that the candidate we supported won. He says we play politics just to play. Others play for benefits of winning or being in the winner's circle. We often support campaign issues that do not benefit us. Blackness is excluded, but we hope that through some miraculous twinge of conscience, once in office, the former candidate will offer us some spoils as supporters. We demand nothing, and that is basically exactly what we get. He says we have yet to learn to play politics by basic rules. We should stay out of any political game. Listen again. We should stay out of any political game that promises that we will get nothing, even when our candidate wins. Once we start playing to win, we must always reject candidates who fail to pay their debts to us. He says so much more. I don't have time. We've been here over 2 hours. I got to go. Family, don't you ever let them trick you and make you think they're no better than us. The man that worked for the administration, the man that worked in the Commerce Department, that man that worked with DNC, the man that helped Black businesses, the man that got Black judges on the bench, the man that worked and negotiated with one of the most staunch anti-Black Jim Crow lawmakers that ever existed. Strom Thurmond. That's our brother and elder and living legend, Dr. Clark, who told us this. And how many of you all know this is the reason why that even though he has a privilege of academic and credentials, even though he's a businessman, even though he worked for democratic organizations, notice how the Roland Martins of the world don't bring on this type of voice, because he doesn't have academia and access just for himself. He demands reparations for us all. And I think we ought to listen to his playbook about how we ought to be doing, how we should be moving electorally and politically. Of course, there's so much more, but this is how we moving over here. Don't let them get us off. Roland can be investigated, prosecuted where appropriate, just like they buddies Netanyahu. So since they for the Epstein stuff, meaning they're not demanding prosecutions where it applies based on the information they know, Republican or Democrat. Roland needs to tell us what he knew or didn't know when his name came up in the WikiLeaks file connected to another nasty, little dirty, little funky, little pedophile that's credibly accused of being a pedophile, I should say, Podesta. That's how his name came up. That's how we found out about him working with Hillary before the Epstein release. we can connect them in a bunch of ways. And if they can find little sneaky ways to give Stop Asian Hate folks millions of dollars, if they can find ways to give Armenians $100,000 tax write-offs, then damn it, where's our money at? Where's our justice? No, we're not finna let Roland with his chunky, crusty, rugged, Brokeback Mountain-esque self tell us what to do. Y'all ain't run nothing over here. Husk doesn't run stuff. Huskies don't tell us what to do. Huskies don't give us advice. We solid. And you gonna stay on the subject we tell you to stay on. And even though y'all know I can destroy Roland in many ways as it relates to the Republicans, but for now, to keep the conversation simple, when they say, how come y'all don't never go off on Republicans? Say, well, Vicki always does. We always do. But for now, we're going to spin because we don't want to be overwhelmed. Say it like that, y'all. Somebody say, so we don't want to be overwhelmed. We're doing a strategy. We can only do one thing at a time. We're going to start with the Democrats, and then we definitely going to make our way to the Republicans. Leave it at that for now. We're coming for both of y'all, but we're going to start with the Democrats. I love y'all. Go to VickiPlanet.com. That's my website. The link is attached. Get y'all's 2026 calendar. Remember, I said this is for men and women. Everybody get a bunch of them. Everybody about 2 and 3. I bought extra stock. I already got out my pre-sales done. So everybody else, I bought extra stock for the public. The price is up a couple dollars because I had to get my pre-sale people benefits. Same with my magazines. The pre-sales have been sent out for these now. I got extra stocks for my magazines. So this is the Venus is for my women. And Hannibal is for my men. I promise you, the information in there, your life will never be the same. Plus, the pictures are yummy. Family, go there now. My website. Go to the store on my website and get your little mini gavels. It comes with instructions. Get your Talk Black to Me t-shirts. I love you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in, family. I'm going to be coming back. Oh, I got a special announcement coming up too. Me and my team are working on another free Bloodlines web special webinar that I'm going to do for the public. Baby, I'm going to be breaking down what Netanyahu in the United States is up to next and how we getting ready to keep moving. If you had any sense, you stay connected to me on all the stuff that I'm doing. I'm also going to be announcing open enrollment soon to my high-end Isis Goddess Mystery Temple 3. I'm almost done with my Isis school. That was my high-end schools for my special initiates there. And then I did my Treasures of Darkness for my men only, baby. My people been getting breakthroughs. That's all I'm going to say. My high-end school for my men, we're all, again, those schools are coming to a close. I won't give the dates and all that yet, but I'm getting ready to do pre-apps for my new school. So I'm going to be doing Isis Goddess Mystery Temple 3. That's a 3-month course for my women. And then I'm going to be doing my Treasures of Darkness 2 for my men again. Guess what my men's course going to be called this time? Baby Hannibal, baby. It's going to be called Hannibal. The secrets to providing and protecting. I do the spiritual stuff. I don't give you no stock tips over there, baby. I give you spiritual things to recalibrate your vibration and energy to be the best providing protected for your household. I promise your life will never be the same. My students are getting breakthroughs, baby, day in and day out. Look at me, and we just getting started. I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Family, make sure you're subscribed. I told you I'm going to be going live again soon. I still got content on other platforms and stuff, and a whole bunch of other stuff I'm working on and taking care of my health. I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in. I bow to you. You are my bliss. I can't wait to see you again. Somebody say, when are the magazines coming? The magazines are already here. Go to your website and get it. I just saw that comment. Go to the website and get it and order them. Remember I said the pre-sales, we just pushed those out. I bought extras. So now I'm selling the extras because I got extra bulk now for everybody else to get them. So the magazines are ready now. Get your magazines today. The Hannibal is for men and the Venus is for women. So if you're a woman, get one for you, then get the Hannibal for your man. If you're a man, get one for you and get this Venus for your woman. Get it for your daughter, your mom-in-law, and get it for your son, your brother-in-law, your pastor, your bishop. Hell, send it to Jamal Bryant and then maybe he'll pick up my energy, get rebuked and blessed at the same time. Talk black to me, somebody. I can't wait to see you again.